Hello everybody, and welcome to a new building video. This time I will be expanding this power station. It's currently a nuclear power station and I wanted to add coal power plant. I was inspired by at City Place. I will be linking him in the description. He built this nice power plant from the workshop, a coal power plant, and it reminded me, yeah, this would be nice in Bora Bora. So here I start by expanding this. Well, it's part of the barrier island that wraps around the whole atoll. And well, it's not really an atoll because it has a center island, but well, it has a barrier island like an atoll. And first I start with building this flood wall. This will be the area where I will be building. And I thought, why not make it nice and square? Here I'm trying to figure out um, to now change a little bit of the shipping path because it will be are very close to the shore, and you can do that with this mod. It's called more network stuff, and it lets you change ship paths, and it can be very convenient in situations like this. So now I have this little well area. I can fill it in by leveling the land, and this will be causing a giant wave, of course. First, I start by removing the sand and this smoothing this little edge. It's more difficult than it looks actually, because for some reason you always get very close to the edge and it starts making these dark colors, and it really shows in this bright colored, well, light colored water that I have. See here, I'm a little bit too close, and I tend to well, not spend hours on it, but it's just frustrating. Really have to be careful, and especially around these edges. See, still not good. Yeah, this tunnel is going to be flooded. That's not really a problem because I have a water pump installed there. You can see it on the left. And we let this water settle out a little bit while I try to make this edge nice. Yeah, here's where I use the water mod to make this water settle down because you have to push this a few times and then it resets the water to sea level, and it saves a ton of waiting. Only downside of it is that you can see here the tunnel is flooding. Everything below sea level is flooded. So we will be needing a mod that prevents collapse of buildings when they're in water. I have that one installed, so you can see nothing is really affected by the floodwaters. Even cars are still driving around. And this is the area I will be working on. The tunnel will be dry in a few minutes. It looks kind of funny actually, but it saves so much time. If you wait for water to settle down, it can take forever in this game. And it even can cause damage on other places, maybe like on the other side of where this water will be ending. It can cause havoc. So this water mod is really really nice. Yeah, this is the asset I was talking about. I think this looks really nice. It's a decent size. And it's a dual furnace. As you can see, there are two somewhat larger, higher buildings. These will house the boilers. And road access is to the left here. This area will be for coal storage. So I built down these transport systems for getting coal to the power plant. Sadly, it only comes in one direction, so I am fiddling around a bit to see how I can place these. And since there's a road connection on that side, it's yeah, not really the way it should be, maybe. Maybe I should be doing them the other way around, I'm thinking now, but the coal is needed in this higher building, so well, we'll look about that a little bit later. And this is coal storage, as you can see. They are working functional warehouses, so they are being filled with ore. Some look a little empty now, but in the end they will be filled with coal and ore. So it's really yeah, actually functioning. And I think that's a nice detail. And I like to use these uh, concrete roads. You can really nicely hide them, make them blend in with the thing you're building. You can see it's really it's from the Industries DLC, and yeah, that really adds something to this. It's really functioning. You can see trucks already coming in and delivering ore to this place. So it will be a really functional power plant. In the end, I think it's putting out 500 megawatts. So that's not really a lot compared to the nuclear power station that's across the road. I have that on a budget, so I don't really need the power in the city, but I like these industrial complexes, and I thought maybe you would like them as well. So this will be all cold storage. And as you can see, they start to fill them up. I'm not sure if the power plant really needs ore. I'll have to look into that. It would be nice if it's getting delivered the coal. And there's usually a lot of storage for coal because yeah, these things they need a lot of to burn a lot of coal. It's maybe not very environmentally friendly, but I like how these places look. There's, they're so huge, and it's very fascinating to see. So now I fix up the power, so it's connected to the grid, and it's starting to make some power for the city. And of course, it needs to be connected maybe a bit more visually, or with a nice electric substation. I'm trying to figure out where to place it. Yeah, maybe we'll have one here and one on the other side, and some more connections. These areas are oftenly fairly well secured. You don't want to have people driving around here that don't need to be here. Don't know if how this is working in city skylines because if they will need to be here, they will just enter. So it's not a real security checkpoint, but it just looks like that, and I think this is somewhat convincing. This will be the main road connecting to the coal storage. And maybe this angle is not so great, but and here there's a little room for maybe an office. I don't want it to be looking too green, so I use these business parks. I use them a lot. They can be they're very versatile. You can use them for like office buildings, but you also can create procedural object of them and raise them in the air, like maybe a sky bridge or well, you've seen my videos, so you know what I can do with them. Maybe a little office here and a bit of parking space. These are the vanilla parkings, and kind of like them. They look good, yeah, like parking lots. Only downside is they are terrain conforming, so they if you put them on uneven terrain, they will be all wobbly and I don't know. But this is enough parking space. I'm trying to figure what to do more with these conveyor belts. Maybe I have to have a look on the workshop to see if they have, well, maybe some different ones, maybe animated ones. I don't know. It would be nice. But for now, this will do. This is not an overly detailed build because yeah, maybe a little lack of assets and well, it turns out quite nice. These roads look way too clean, so I'm adding little dirty decals like uh, like these ones. They come with with these assets, and you can smudge up the place a little bit. I'm not really an expert on doing this, so I'm trying to prevent uh, repetitive patterns, but in the end, you can still see some things that are the same, but well, you know, this area is very dirty, coal everywhere, everything covered in blackness. You can see the power plant is already working. Of course, this will need to be connected to the grid. It's awfully by these above ground power lines. I don't know if this really is connected, but well, from a distance it looks like it's connected. And I use these underground power lines mostly. And I'm really happy in City Skylines 2 we don't have to do this anymore. Well, to some extent, but I think it improved. Yeah, and now they're both connected. And here I make the underground connection, so it really is connected now. And this is my little coal power plant. Need some more connections here and there to make it look a little bit more interesting. Sadly, they disappear when you zoom out too much. But okay, it's acceptable, I think. Yeah, well, not. We'll be filling in this whole area with concrete, so it's really like an artificial, yeah, industrial place. There's not much room for greenery here. Maybe I can add some green and some green details later. See, it's still not a nice a nice edge there, but we add a little more coal decals. And some more on this side. I don't use decals that often. Maybe I don't use them enough because they really add something to a place. And you can see all the activity here of delivering ore to this power plant. And maybe this plant is connected to the other, to the cooling tower, I mean, so they can share some maybe some services or chemicals or I don't know what they would love to exchange. But now they can through this pipeline. And this is really looking like a nice industrial island. And I think this is the perfect place for heavy industrial complexes. It will stay a little bit in style. I add these palm trees, a little more on this side. The barrier was actually closed the other week. The real thing I mean in the Netherlands, due to high tides, was the first time in 3 years, I believe, that it was actually closed to uh, to save the land from flooding. Yeah, this is how it turned out. Have a look around and tell me what you think. It's nice in proportion, I think, and it's a nice addition to this well, this part of the skyline, and it really looks yeah, I think quite nice. So I hope you have enjoyed this build, and maybe you got inspired to build a power station of your own. The tunnel is still a little bit flooded, like you can see, but there's a pump also on this side, so it will dry up eventually. This is from somewhat further back. You can see it's pretty close to the airport, but I think planes will be able to avoid the cooling tower. Added these steam markers in the cooling tower, so when you are a little close, you can actually see the steam. I think that's a nice touch. But if you zoom out a little bit more, then it disappears again. Maybe it has to do with some of my settings. I don't know. This is Bora Bora Power Station. Thank you for watching. and I hope to see you next time in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.